Hello, it's Willie from the Ozarks, and we're ready for our August 9th lesson in A Course in Miracles Workbook for Students, Lesson 221. We're reading out of the original edition. Peace to my mind, let all my thoughts be still. Peace to my mind, let all my thoughts be still. Father, I come to you today to seek the peace that you alone can give. I come in silence, in the quiet of my heart, the deep recesses of my mind. I wait and listen for your voice. My Father, speak to me today. I come to hear your voice in silence and in certainty and love. Sure, you will hear my call and answer me. How do we wait in quiet? God is here because we wait together. I am sure that he will speak to you and you will hear. Accept my confidence, for it is yours. Our minds are joined. We wait with one intent to hear our Father's answer to our call, to let our thoughts be still and find his peace, to hear him speak to us of what we are, and to reveal himself unto his Son. Peace to my mind, let all my thoughts be still. Okay, well, this will be our first lesson in part 2. And there's some other things. We've got to read the What is Forgiveness section. We'll be reading it every day for the next 10 days. But today we're going to look at the introduction, then we're going to look at what is forgiveness. And then we'll look at the lesson one last time. So we have a lot to read in today, and today of all days I left my glasses back at my house. So we'll see how I can do. I think there's still enough sunlight to see well enough. Introduction. Words will mean, and welcome to part 2 in A Course in Miracles Workbook for Students. Thank you for being with me on part 1. Words will mean little now. We use them but as guides on which we do not now depend. And now we seek direct experience of truth alone. The lessons which remain are merely introduction to the times in which we leave the world of pain and go to enter peace. Now we begin to reach the goal this course has set and find the end toward which our practicing was geared. Now we attempt to let the exercise be merely a beginning. For we wait in quiet expectation for our God and Father. He has promised he will take the final step himself, and we are sure his promises are kept. We have come far along the road, and now we wait for him. We will continue spending time with him each morning and at night, as long as makes us happy. We will not consider time a matter of duration now. We use as much as we will need for the result that we desire. Nor will we forget our hourly remembrance in between, calling to God when we have need of him, as we are tempted to forget our goal. So we're going to use this at the beginning of the morning in our meditation. But we'll use the idea for that day just to introduce our quiet time with God. And we've been spending at least 15 minutes. Now he says, just go until it makes you happy. The time, we're not going to use time as much now. We're going to use our guidance, our internal guidance. Make sure that you're following your happiness, your peace. Paragraph 3, we will continue with the central thought for all the days to come, and we will use that thought to introduce our times of rest and calm our minds at need. Yet we will not content ourselves with simple practicing in the remaining holy instants which conclude the year that we have given God. We say some simple words of welcome and expect our Father to reveal himself as he has promised. We have called on him, and he has promised that his Son will not remain unanswered when he calls his name. Now do we come to him with but his word upon our minds and hearts, and wait for him to take the step to us that he has told us through his voice he would not fail to take when we invited him. He has not left his Son in all his madness, nor betrayed his trust in him. Has not his faithfulness earned him the invitation that he seeks to make us happy? Has not his faithfulness earned him the invitation that he seeks to make us happy? In other words, his dependability has made you feel like you can trust him even more. And so now he invites you to make the invitation so that he can make us happy. We will offer it, our invitation, for him to guide us. We will offer it and it will be accepted. So our times with him will now be spent. We say the words of invitation that his voice suggests, and then we wait for him to come to us. So no other requirement is needed other than in the next part of this year, he's going to give us lots of ideas to think about. And then he says, just bring him up to your moment of quiet and not using time as much anymore as to meet your deepest needs. And so we would say the idea and in the morning and then again at night. We'd say the idea, and then we would have a quiet time of listening. And then we would say the idea again and conclude and take that idea with us. I think that's kind of the same basic thing we've been doing, but the biggest difference now is he really wants us to tune into our need, our desire for peace, our happiness, and let that be our guide instead of time. Yeah, he still says use the hourly remembrance. He's thinking that's a good thing to still stay connected with. Now is the time of prophecy fulfilled. Now are all ancient promises upheld and fully kept. No step remains for time to separate from its accomplishment. For now we cannot fail. Sit silently and wait upon your Father. He has willed to come to you when you have recognized it is your will he do so. And you could never had come this far unless you saw, however dimly, that it is your will. Isn't that nice to know? In paragraph 6, I am so close to you we cannot fail. Father, we give these holy times in you in gratitude to him who taught us how to leave the world of sorrow in exchange for its replacement given us by you. We look not backward now. We look ahead and fix our eyes upon the journey's end and accept these little gifts of thanks from us as through Christ's vision we behold a world beyond the one we made and take that world to be the full replacement of our own. Let's read that last part again. We look ahead and fix our eyes upon the journey's end. Accept these little gifts of thanks from us as through Christ's vision we behold a world beyond the one we made and take that world to be the full replacement of our own. And now we wait in silence, unafraid and certain of your coming. We have sought to find our way by following the guide you sent to us. We did not know the way, but you did not forget us. And we know that you will not forget us now. We ask but that your ancient promises be kept, which are your will to keep. We will with you in asking this. The Father and the Son, whose holy will created all that is, can fail in nothing. In this certainty we undertake these last few steps to you, and rest in confidence upon your love, which will not fail the Son who calls to you. 8. And so we start upon the final part of this one holy year, which we have spent together in the search for truth and God, who is its one creator. We have found the way he chose for us and made the choice to follow it as he would have us go. His hand His hand has held us up. His thoughts have lit the darkness of our minds. His love has called to us unceasingly since time began. 9. We had a wish that God would fail to have the Son whom He created for Himself. We wanted God to change Himself and be what we would make of Him, and we believed that our insane desires were the truth. Now we are glad that this is all undone. Aren't we glad that we don't think that way any longer? We have gone so far in our first part of this book. We've learned how to undo hell and always be in heaven. Now, whether we're always doing it yet or not, that's another question, but we're going to do it. We're getting there. Just keep working at it. It's the only thing we want to do anyway, to be at peace. And unless, except, remember yesterday, there is no peace except the peace of God, the peace of union, the peace of love, the peace of connection with everyone. That's how peace is obtained. So we're seeing that we can go there all the time. When we're not there, that's when we ask for help and we go there. So we watch that. Let that be our guide instead of time now. We had a wish that God would fail to have the Son whom He created for Himself. We wanted God to change Himself and be what we would make of Him, and we believed that our insane desires were the truth. Now we are glad that this is all undone, and we no longer think illusions true. The memory of God is shimmering across the wide horizons of our minds. A moment more, and it will rise again. A moment more, and we who are God's sons are safely home, where He would have us be. 10. Now is the need for practice almost done. For in this final section, we will come to understand that we need only call to God, and all temptations disappear. Instead of words, we need but feel His love. Instead of prayer, we need but call His name. Instead of judging, we need but be still and let all things be healed. We will accept the way God's plan will end as we received the way it started. Now it is complete. This year has brought us to certainty. He's saying we've already arrived. Now He's just going to give us a bunch of things to think about during the day so we can stay fixed on calling out for God's help when we lose our peace. It's so simple what He's taught us to do, isn't it? And He's given us the way to find the peace, and that's by non-judgment. Open our minds. Open your mind and know that we're all connected and that love is what we do our brother. And what we give our brother, we give to ourselves. And we give it with joy because we want joy ourselves and we want them to have joy. So that's what we follow, that connection. There is no peace except the peace of God. There is no joy except God's joy. Now is the need for practice almost done. I'm going to read it again. Now the need for practice almost done. For in this final section we will come to understand that we need only call to God and all temptations disappear. Instead of words, we need but feel His love. Instead of prayer, we need but call His name. Oh, God, help me. You don't even know what to ask. Just, I need God. God, help me. I'm not feeling peace, and I don't even know why right now, but just deliver me. Help me get... And He says, well, be still, my son. Be still and quiet and know the truth. I'll come and give you the miracle instead of your error of thought. It's always the same. Instead of prayer, we need but call His name. Instead of judging, we need but be still and let all things be healed. We will accept the way God's plan will end as we received the way it started. Now it is complete. This year has brought us to eternity. This year has brought us to eternity. And He's saying we've already arrived. One further use for words we still retain. From time to time, instructions on a theme of special relevance will intersperse our daily lessons and the periods of wordless deep experience which should come afterwards. These special thoughts should be reviewed each day, each one of them to be continued till the next is given you. They should be slowly read and thought about a little while, preceding one of the holy and blessed instants in the day. We give the first of these instructions now. Okay, so he wants us to read the 10 instructions that'll precede each of the next 10 lessons, and then he'll change the instruction to another relevant idea that he wants us to consider throughout the day. So the first of these is now. What is forgiveness? And you've heard me say this first sentence a lot in our journey so far. Forgiveness recognizes what you thought your brother did to you has not occurred. I just love that. It does not pardon sins and make them real. It sees there was no sin. And in this view are all your sins forgiven. What is sin except a false idea about God's Son? Forgiveness merely sees its falsity and therefore lets it go. What then is free to take its place is now the will of God. 2. An unforgiving thought is one which makes a judgment that it will not raise to doubt, although it is not true. The mind is closed and will not be released. The thought protects projection, tightening its chains so that distortions are more veiled, more obscure, less easily accessible to doubt, and further kept from reason. What can come between a fixed projection and the aim that it has chosen as its needed goal? What can come between a fixed projection and the aim that it has chosen as its needed goal? And he's implying that you're going to maintain that fixed position until you let forgiveness come and shine the truth away, or shine the illusion away and let the truth come into its place. An unforgiving thought does many things. In frantic action, it pursues its goal, twisting and overturning what it sees as interfering with its chosen path. Distortion is its purpose, and the means by which it would accomplish it as well. It sets about its furious attempts to smash reality without concern for anything that would appear to pose a contradiction to its point of view. 4. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is still and quietly does nothing. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is still and quietly does nothing. It offends no aspect of reality, nor seeks to twist it to appearances that it likes. It merely looks and waits and judges not. He who would not forgive must judge, for he must justify his failure to forgive. He who would not forgive must judge, for he must justify his failure to forgive. But he who would forgive himself must learn to welcome truth exactly as it is. He who would forgive himself must learn to welcome truth exactly as it is. And the last paragraph. Do nothing then, and let forgiveness show you what to do. Through him who is your guide, your Savior and defender, strong in hope, certain of your ultimate success. He has forgiven you already, for such is his function given him by God. Now must you share his function and forgive whom he has saved, whose sinlessness he sees, and whom he honors as the Son of God. That is a very, very beautiful reading. Wouldn't hurt a thing to put that to memory and have it with you wherever you went. And after reading it 10 days silently and thoughtfully, you pretty much have it to memory, won't you? Lesson 221, our lesson for today. And before I read it once again, I just wanted to say I'm sitting in front of what I think are some European plums. Here's a little small one that came up right beside me. That's a whole thicket behind me. That's the sun was setting in a while ago. You could see it was that is European plum. Prunus domestica is what I think that's the variety. It's a wild plum patch that's here on my place. And, I was looking at all the different things I got growing wild out here, and I just need to find cultivars that are these type of things that just, a little more plump fruit and uh, a little richer, but these like they are just great. And I'll now, knowing that plums are coming up here nicely, I should plant some other kind of plums around close by. Is kind of what I'm thinking. Uh, Thanks to WebMD, it says that plums are good for heart disease, anxiety, constipation relief, high blood pressure, and stroke. Rich in antioxidants, reduces blood sugar, and good for bone health. So lots and lots of good things in that particular food, and it tastes good. They're a little tart, these little small plums. I guess the sun is still setting right there. Well, you get to have a sunset vigil with Willie. All right, let's take our lesson one last time. Peace to my mind. Let all my thoughts be still. It starts with a prayer. Father, I come to you today to seek the peace that you alone can give. I come in silence, in the quiet of my heart, the deep recesses of my mind. I wait and listen for your voice. My Father, speak to me today. I come to hear your voice in silence and in certainty and love. Sure, you will hear my call and answer me. Now do we wait in quiet. God is here because we wait together. I am sure that he will speak to you and you will hear. Accept my confidence, for it is yours. Our minds are joined. We wait with one intent, to hear our Father's answer to our call, to let our thoughts be still and find his peace, to hear him speak to us of what we are, and to reveal himself unto his Son. So we're going to read that. What is forgiveness? Every morning, and then you'll do that lesson, read that lesson, and then take that thought today being peace to my mind, let all my thoughts be still, and go into the silence and take that thought, maybe say the prayer and the word. There'll be a prayer and an idea that will be in each of these upcoming lessons, and do the best you can at letting that thought take you into the presence, and then ask God to answer your deepest needs, and stay there until your deepest needs are met. I would encourage you, you're used to doing a 15-minute. We've had several in our practices. We've had a 30-minute one day lesson where he told you to spend 30 minutes at whatever time was convenient during the day. He had us do several that were 20 minutes through the day, some that were every 15 minutes, that were only for 5 minutes, he had us mix it up different ways of doing it. Well, basically what he's trying to get us to do now is just let time. Do it in the morning. Take a little when you first get up, and before you go to sleep. Take some time to be alone with God. I would encourage you to stick with at least 15 minutes. But time is the issue. Time is not the issue. Your needs, your feeling of peace, your connection with God, that is what we want to stay connected with. We're developing this connection with God that will be able to connect with everyone. And this is so important for the healing of ourselves, our relationships, of our whole planet. Just by us learning to connect with God in everything. So that'll be our goal, and our longing is to follow the peace and follow the love and your joy. Follow your bliss. That's one of the terms that I forget who it was that made that popular. Joseph Campbell. Follow your bliss. Peace to my mind. Let all my thoughts be still. So until tomorrow. And remember, when you do this lesson, you're just wanting to say it at the beginning, and then go into that place of being open to God to teach you. You don't have to just keep saying the idea over and over. That might actually be not helpful. Though I'll tell you what, sometimes I can't do anything but say the idea. And if you're at that place, well then, by all means do that. But the idea is to say the idea and then to open your mind and be still and at peace and allow God to teach you. All right? So until tomorrow, peace to my mind. Let all my thoughts be still.